Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is time again. Welcome in. Hope y'all are doing well as we broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. See Sparky Fiber with you out here at Rally House at the Mayfair Collection here in Tosa, right off the interstate. You can see us, so don't drive by. Stop in instead. Yes, they do have all the City Connect jerseys. Yes, they do. They've got City Connect, sweatshirts. They've got T-shirts. They've got jerseys. They've got several different kind of hats and its own separate hat rack. Again, I was taking pictures. There's got to be 10, 11, 12 different items that you can purchase that are all different. Like there's a blue sweatshirt with just a bobber logo on it that says Milwaukee, or it says Wisconsin, I should say. It says Wisconsin over the top of it or whatever. Again, it is so cool. All the different stuff that they have. I'm going to bring it up on my phone here, and I can give you more of an accurate description of what we're looking at here. Yeah, so there's one that just says Wisco on it, a blue one that says Wisco. There's another one that has the W logo in the middle, and it says Milwaukee over the top, and baseball underneath, and L Central, it says underneath that. The bobber one says Brewers over the top in like orange or whatever color that is, with a bobber underneath it on a blue sweatshirt. They've got a light blue sweatshirt that says Brewers with a bobber down to the right-hand corner of that logo. There's a lot of different cool stuff. There's another one that's a sweatshirt that says National League, and then it says Milwaukee in big letters. And then underneath it, they have the Barrelman logo with the state logo behind it. Then a ball and mitt logo, not the Brewers ball and mitt logo, literally like a brown mitt with a white baseball in it. And then it says baseball underneath it, and then it's got the three logos under that. So the bobber logo, the Wisco logo, and then the other new logo they've created is a state outline, like that weird funky orange color, or whatever that is, with that weird W shape in the middle of it. So lots and lots of stuff to take care of and come check out. So you have the new gear to wear. The Brewers are going to debut these City Connect jerseys that are really State Connect jerseys, if we're being honest, coming up tomorrow night. And you could go down to the stadium, or you could just come over here to Rally House and take what you'd like and go ahead and purchase it. And while you're here, have a chance to win a $100 Rally House gift card. You just got to scan the QR code when you're here. And then one lucky winner will get a $100 gift card here to Rally House, which you can use on some of your City Connect gear for the Milwaukee Brewers. But have no fear here at Rally House. They got Packer stuff. They got frozen pizza T-shirts, Charlie, from the Timber Rattlers. Remember those?
Those are pretty sick. I have seen those before. I was pretty excited when I saw that those ones came out. The Madison Mallards, they came out with one today. I think the Madison Muskies is their alternative edition. So like these teams are doing alternate editions.
Okay, do you understand the Madison Muskie thing?
I don't know.
No. The Madison Muskies was the name of the team that was in the Midwest League back in the day. So back in the day, it was the Kenosha Twins. They were in there.
Okay.
The Beloit Brewers, they were in there. The Madison Muskies, they were another one of the teams that were in there. So that's kind of a tip of the hat throwback to back in the day when they were an actual minor league affiliate team, not owned by the same guy. Obviously, this was eons ago, but still, in fact, I believe Walt Weiss was on that team.
Walt Weiss was the guy who just tackled Jorge Soler?
Yes. Correct. Yeah. Walt Weiss. Yes. That same guy.
Tackled a giant baseball player. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. I would actually have an all-star program from when they all played at Simmons Field in Kenosha, the all-star game that year. And he was a representative, I want to say, from Madison. I believe his picture's in the book from playing in that all-star game. And that was, Class A ball.
That's pretty cool.
Huh. Yeah. It was very cool. It was the 80s, but it was fun. Okay. So coming up on today's show, we are going to talk about these City Connect jerseys. I think that is something that needs to be discussed a little bit here. Plus, we'll talk a little bit about NIL. There's some numbers out here on top 25 portal players in college basketball and what some of your top positions are going for in college basketball. And I really just want to ask, should they even be going to school? Like, Why are we making these kids go to school if the money is what it is at this point? But we'll get into that coming up at 2:20. We'll talk about the Crew coming up at 3 o'clock and this Brewers struggling offense against a Boston team that had only 2 wins. Again, no Chirium, no Vaughn, so maybe there's nothing to be concerned about, but we'll dive into that at 3. Matt Bernstein, former Badgers fullback and part of the Believe in Badgers podcast, he joins us at 3:20. Talk about this recruiting class for the Badgers. Talk about this new NCAA rule as well. That's going to pretty much, if it goes through, is going to tell all these college kids you get 5 years of eligibility. That's it. That's all you get. Don't worry about red shirt, injury years, and all this other stuff. You get 5 years. And when those 5 years are up, you're done. And off you go into the real world. We're not going to court cases battling for a 6th year, a 7th year, an 8th year, a 9th year. That's all done. It's going to be 5 years and you're done, and we move forward. So we'll ask Matt Bernstein his take on that. Chad Reuter, NFL draft analyst, has a new full mock draft up right now over at NFL.com. That came out a couple of days ago. We'll get to him in our green and gold update. And then Think Smart Key Miss brought to you Milwaukee Admirals. Charlie Larson will join us coming up at 4:40. But we're going to start off talking about these City Connect jerseys and all the new apparel that you can see out here at the Rally House at the Mayfair Collection. Got brand new hats, the whole deal. So this is how they defined why they did what they did with the jerseys, okay? The base blue color, they say, is inspired by Wisconsin's endless shorelines, lakes, and rivers from the Milwaukee River to Eagle River to Lake Mendota. Okay, fine, fair enough. Symbolizing a state constantly in motion. The accent cream color. The cream accent color recalls the sandy shores of inland lakes, beaches of Door County and Lake Michigan, and the state's iconic sandstone bluffs. The sunset gradient, that is that funky looking orange that I've been trying to describe to you in all of the things that are out here. Oranges, yellows, and blues flow throughout the word mark, sleeve patches, and number trims, reflecting beautiful summers and watercolor sunsets across the North Woods, Lake Michigan's shoreline, and the Driftless area's sandstone bluffs. The typography, that's how they spell out Wisco, right? So it's kind of like a cursive writing. And then from the O in Wisco, it swirls back under the word Wisco on these new Brewers jerseys. That is reimagines tradition, it says, blending script influences from the early 20th century American Association, Milwaukee Brewers, classic supper clubs, and vintage brewery labels. The wheat and barley braid, featured on the shoulder sleeve and pant braid. This detail pays homage to Wisconsin's agricultural roots and the brewing industry that inspired the club's name. The sleeve patch, a revitalized barrel man paired with a full Wisconsin state outline, highlights Brewers fandom spanning every county while offering a fresh take on an iconic symbol. Now, again, that barrel man logo and the state itself is in that red, yellows, and oranges. That's the whole state is filled up in that color. And then the barrel man itself is kind of on the front of it. Depending on what the backdrop is, he could be wearing a red sleeve. He can be wearing yellow sleeves. It all depends on, what brand it is on, a shirt, a sweatshirt, and what the background is. Inside the neck graphic, forward, that's the word written there. Wisconsin state motto proudly displayed inside the collar, reinforcing the organization's commitment to progress while honoring its past. And the jog tag with the fishing bobber icon, a reinvention of the original City Connect grill patch. This new mark combines a bobber and a baseball resting on a Wisconsin lake, celebrating fishing as one of the state's favorite pastimes. Now, if you remember correctly, back in the day, when the Bucks came out with their cream colored jerseys, they had a big press conference, and I was at that one. And they talked about the cream color, that Milwaukee used to be known as Cream City because of all the cream brick that used to be popular back in the day in Milwaukee and how all the buildings looked that way. And on that day, I said, I've never heard of that in my entire freaking life. What are you talking about? Right? And over the course of time, I like them. I like the green and the cream I like. Some of these alternate jerseys you can keep. But the green and the cream base colors, I like them. I'm okay with them. And if you remember, Charlie, before that Bucks jersey got launched, there were some pictures floating around of people thinking they had what the new logo or the new jersey was going to look like. And they were essentially Miami Hurricane jerseys, the green and the orange. And the thought process was this was honoring the hunting that happened in Milwaukee with the bright orange and the green. And those would have been cool, even though they looked like Hurricane colors, Miami Hurricane colors, which you would have liked being a Miami Hurricane fan. You would have been fine with it. I thought those were sweet. But the green and cream, grew on me. And the Cream City thing, they've continued to hammer it into existence over and over again. And people have bought into it. People are naming their bars after Cream City and all this other stuff. Okay, fine. So now here we are with the new logo as we sit here today. My question is a simple one. Do you think branding it with the state instead of the team, meaning it doesn't say Brewers or Milwaukee, it just says Wisco, will sell more jerseys outside of Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin? Do you think you'll start to see more of these Wisco jerseys if you're walking around in Green Bay, where you're listening to us on WNFL? Will you see more of these Wisco jerseys in Wausau if we're walking around Wausau in 3 or 4 months in the summertime? If we're in Duluth Superior walking around, I'm sure there's Twins stuff everywhere, but Wisco stuff. Do you think we'll see Wisco t-shirts and jerseys and hats walking around in Duluth Superior for those of you listening to the game? Like, is this going to get you to go buy Brewers gear if you hadn't bought it before? Or maybe you got a Brewers shirt, but it says Milwaukee on it. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Milwaukee. I'm not wearing it. I'll be a Brewers fan, but I'm not wearing anything that says Milwaukee on it. And I'm here to tell you, people around the state, there are people around the state that simply don't like Milwaukee, don't like southeastern Wisconsin, don't want to come down, want to stay up in the northern woods, stay away from everything down here, which everybody's got their own opinion, right? So you make this jersey in order to make more sales. That's the whole point of the City Connect jerseys around Major League Baseball. Same reason why you have alternate jerseys in football, alternate jerseys in the NBA. All of these pro sports leagues were a million years behind NASCAR, who were making die-cast cars and shirts and jackets and all this other stuff with all the different paint schemes and sponsors every different race. They were cleaning up on this way before baseball, football, and basketball finally caught on to how they were making all this extra money. This is my thing. I really don't think that the sales are going to be through the roof around the rest of the state with this new stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never lived in Green Bay. Couldn't tell you. Trevor lives in Green Bay. John Kuhn lives in Green Bay, right? Trevor on Inside Wisconsin Sports. John Kuhn on 9 to Noon with Kuhn. He lives in that Green Bay, Door County area. So those guys can speak on this more than me. The idea of Wisco. I've never really heard anybody say Wisco, right? Scotty, I've heard of that. Fine. Wisco, I've not really heard a ton of. I mean, it makes sense, an abbreviation kind of for Wisconsin. I understand that. We're going to get Rick Schlesinger on here at some point. And I would assume that part of this was done through research, right? Maybe you canvassed the rest of the state to see nicknames for Wisconsin that people like to say. I don't know how you do that, but maybe there's something to that. I'm assuming they're not in a conference room at American Family Field and everybody asking, hey, what nickname can we put on the front of this? And people just start throwing stuff out. When listening to previous shows today, I heard several people say, oh yeah, I say Wisco all the time. I say it all the time. I hear other people going, they made this up. I've never heard of that in my life. So that's why I'm kind of interested. Like this Wisco thing, maybe this is something that is bigger around the rest of the state, and it's just not as big in the Milwaukee area. And that's why I'm asking you, do you think this is going to sell more jerseys? If you're listening on WNFL or the game in Wausau or in Duluth Superior, let's hear from you. I want to be educated about how this is going to play where you are. Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Nice and simple, not all that hard. I'll read your text messages as well. Charlie, what say you?
With the whole Wisco thing, I've definitely heard that before. I've probably used it before. I can't say I regularly use it to talk about the state of Wisconsin. I think I just like saying Wisconsin just in its full name. It's got kind of a ring to it in itself. So like shortening it doesn't really make it more fun to say at all, at least in my opinion. And then looking at these jerseys and how they're going to sell across the state, I think that's probably the case for a lot of people too. I think when you're looking to buy one of your favorite team's jerseys, you want it to be that team's jersey. And I think when you rebrand it with the Wisco on the front, it changes it a little bit. And yes, it's still a Brewers jersey, but in 15 years when these jerseys don't exist anymore, are people still going to recognize that as a Brewers jersey at that point versus if it just said Brewers on the front? And I saw other people showing pictures of some of the other merch, like the t-shirts that they had out. They had a really cool cream colored one that said Brewers in the same kind of font with the same gradient, and then it had the bobber logo at the end of the Brewers. And he pointed out that he would have liked that better on a jersey, and I think I would have agreed. I think that has more lasting power for people in 15 years to still be able to recognize that as a Brewers jersey. I know that's very simple. It just says Brewers on it, so of course they're going to see it as a Brewers jersey. But when I look at some of the other City Connect jerseys that are out there, not only do I like them better, the ones that have came out with this batch with the Brewers, but they are also more recognizable as their team's uniforms. And I think that makes a difference to me.
Don't forget as well that the Milwaukee Brewers are amongst the league leaders in group sales each and every year. And part of the reason they are amongst the group leaders in group sales each and every year is because they have a roof on their stadium, which means if you are driving from Wausau or Green Bay or Appleton or wherever you're coming from, you're guaranteed to see a baseball game or two. If I take that same trip to Minneapolis, I ain't guaranteed not a damn thing because they didn't want to put a roof on it. So you can get rainouts and everything else. Well, there's nothing more frustrating than you're at your favorite local watering hole, right? And they're like, hey, sign up. $150 each, $200 each, and we're going to take a trip down in Milwaukee. We got a hotel night stay at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. We're all going to stay there. We're going to take their shuttles to and from the game at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Maybe make a couple wagers, play some craps, blackjack, and we're going to go see a couple baseball games, and then we'll take our bus that we have or whatever, and we're going to drive it back to where we are. Okay, cool. But if I take all of that and I go, and maybe it's not as cool as Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Maybe I'm just at a hotel, right, somewhere in Minneapolis. And now there's no game for 2 days, and both games are rained out. I spent all this money for tickets and everything else. Hey, don't worry, though. We're going to get you that you'll be able to use those tickets when we make it up on a Wednesday in the middle of the week for a doubleheader later in the year. And all these people are like, yeah, we're not coming back for that. And now the whole thing is a waste. People eventually stop going because every time they go, they get burned. This scenario for the Brewers, they always come. So to me, this is Rick Schlesinger and the Brewers going, hey, man, we appreciate it. We're a statewide team because you all come from around the state with our group sales. And this is a thank you to everybody else around the state that doesn't live in the Milwaukee area or southeastern Wisconsin. I think it's a thank you from the team to them. This is not meant for all of us here to get behind and appreciate or whatever else. You buy the stuff, cool, that's great. Wonderful, let's go ahead and do it. But at the end of the day, I think it's more of a homage to the rest of the state of Wisconsin for supporting this Brewers baseball team. And I can't get mad at that for them doing it, right? I mean, you don't have to like the shirt or the sweatshirts or whatever the case may be. You're going to come out here to Rally House, Mayfair Collection, where we are till 5 o'clock today, have a chance to win a $100 Rally House gift card. You're going to see the City Connect Brewers gear out here, sweatshirts, T-shirts, hats, and all of that. And you may be like, I don't know. But the good news out here at Rally House is they got sales up to 50% off on a lot of other stuff in the house, in the store, right? So you can literally turn around from the City Connect stuff, and you have traditional Brewers gear right behind it. You're like, I'm going to get some Brewers stuff. It's 50% off. I'm not going to get the City Connect stuff. That's cool. Rally House says thank you. Have a nice day. Enjoy the rest of your day, right? Big smiles over here. Yeah, that's right. That's fine, Smarty. They don't have to buy the City Connect jerseys. So you get some traditional Brewer stuff that you don't like. But again, I don't think, personally, this was meant for Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin, as much as it was meant for everybody else as a thank you. Nikolay Law Talk and text line, again, it's pretty simple. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Let's go to Jesse in Green Bay. You're next here on Wisconsin Sports Daily with me, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. What's up, Jesse?
Oh, I just think that the Wisco name being added is cool. I think it helped, for the whole state. The Brewers are a Wisconsin team, not just a Milwaukee team. And I think that's why I like it. I think it's cool. There's beers up here in Green Bay that are really popular with the name Wisco in it. So I think it's great for the rest of the state, not just the Milwaukee area. So that's my take on it.
See, that's what I wanted. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And that's a guy in Green Bay. And again, he's saying that there's beers up there that are called Wisco, Wisco, whatever, right? And they use the term. So that's why when people get so bent out of shape, man, I'm seeing people on X just, oh my God, what are they doing? This isn't a City Connect jersey. It's a State Connect jersey. This is horrible. What are they? Man, chill out. You don't want to buy it, don't buy it. I don't care. My girl, she saw the picture. She's like, I want something when you go. So I've been sending her pictures since 1:30, half hour before the show, and seeing what she wants. And now I think we're getting closer to her figuring out of all these dang things that I've taken so many pictures of all these pictures of all these things that she finally figured out what she wants. Tommy Wirtz wants a hat, so I'm gonna grab him a hat on the way out. I asked Charlie to use him, but Charlie's one of those guys is like, I want to see it myself.
Yeah, I like seeing it
myself.
Yeah,
right.
try stuff
on,
see
fine.
if there's something else I like, yeah.
No problem. I'd rather do that than me get you a hat and then you not wear it. So I'm totally fine with that. I got no issues with that whatsoever. Let's see here. Dave in Cudahy, you're next on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. What's going on, Dave?
Sparky, there's got to be more things that people can complain about than this, right?
I mean, go on social media, Dave. Go on social media.
I
people
know.
are outraged.
I spent most of my morning dealing with that, just trying to people saying, "Oh, well, I'm a graphic designer," yada yada yada. I mean, are you kidding me? It is very. It's a legible design, and it doesn't look like crap. I mean, if you look at some of these other City Connect ones, you could have like the Texas Rangers, which just says Tejas. It looks like a college uniform.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, it's a good jersey. And you know what, though? I'll be honest. If we really wanted to sell those bad boys, you take that sleeve patch and you put that on top of the hat.
Mm-hmm.
That sleeve patch is awesome.
I agree.
You talk about the Barrel Man patch?
Yes, that Barrel Man patch is like legitimate. That's the thing that people have been talking about for years is that the Brewers need to rep Barrel Man more.
Hey, all right. Sounds good, Dave. Thanks for the call. Hey, Will, our promotions guy out here helping me out. Can you go find that rack of hats that they had and see if there's a Barrel Man one? Go take a look. What'd you say?
I said you're gonna have Will running around the whole show grabbing you different hats.
No. But I just because I took a picture of the hats. We tweeted it out. No, I tweeted it out at Sparky Radio, and I guess you can maybe zoom in. But he's looking. Oh, see, nice and easy. A nice gentleman over here shopping for a hat himself. Handed Will the hat and said, "Here you go. Check it out." Yeah, they have them. They absolutely have them. All right, so here's one right here. Here's one right. Oh, here's another one. There's 3 different ones.
Okay.
So here's one. That's like a cream color white one type deal. Then there's that traditional like funky blue that they have all the stuff on.
All right.
And then there's like a dark blue, and this is more like what it was before. And there's another Bailman one on the front. Okay. But I would say that these 2 here are probably, and if you're on X and YouTube, you can see these. If you're not, you can go back and look later. But they're right there. That's what they look like. And the backs are kind of, I don't know how you would describe that. They're not
say
snap
Wisco
back.
on the sides too? Is that what
it says? Wisco on the side, correct. Yeah, okay. Wisco on the side of that one, Wisco on the side of this one. This is when this camera pays off for us. It really does, because I could show people like I'm on the Home Shopping Network. Come and buy your stuff now at Rally House.
And like Tim Allen always complains about the camera, but then he does that too. He shows so many things on the camera. Yeah. He's so happy to show everything he's got, but then he complains about having the camera on.
He just doesn't want his mug on the camera. Anything else is completely fine with that. Okay, we'll take a quick time out. Come back on the other side, change gears. There is a report out from Field of 68 that's going to blow your mind with what they're saying these guys in college basketball are getting right now, NIL-wise, that are in the portal currently. So we'll get into that straight ahead. Again, Rally House Mayfair Collection. You can win up to a $100 Rally House gift card by scanning the QR code. We're here between now and 5 o'clock. They have all the City Connect stuff you could potentially want, 10, 12 different variations of everything, all kinds of different hats to go along with it. Come on out here. Check us out. Rally House Mayfair Collections, Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily. C. Sparky Fiber with you. Rally House, Mayfair Collection, right off the interstate. Can't miss us. All kinds of different stores and restaurants and so forth out here at the Mayfair Collection. Good variety of stuff. Come out here, Rally House, Mayfair Collection. You can register to win a $100 Rally House gift card. All you got to do is scan the QR code sitting on the table. We're right as you walk in the door. You cannot miss us. We're right by the entrance when you walk in. And you can't miss all the different Brewers City Connect new stuff that they have going on here with the Wisco logo on it. Racks and racks of different clothing options. Plus, they have all kinds of different hat options that you can get as well. Come check it out. All this stuff dropped today. It dropped today. This is hot and fresh, as they like to say, here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Dante in Milwaukee, you're next on Wisconsin Sports Daily. What's up, Dante?
Good afternoon, fellas. What's going on?
A lot, apparently. I mean, these jerseys are the talk of the town right now.
Yeah, well, the one thing most people ain't talking about, address the elephant in the room. I mean, the Wisco jersey is kind of like a tribute. I mean, it's a shout out. We don't have to necessarily shout out the North per se. I mean, we're saying that. How come the Green Bay team isn't giving us a 43, I-43 tribute jersey, even though we keep taking that trick up north all the time? That's
a good question for the.
Even though I will say, let me preface it by saying that's a dope jersey. I've already ordered the jersey, the jacket, the hat. I'm even waiting online to make some shoes to match it. But I mean, why do we need to? Why does it have to be Wisconsin's team? Why can't it just be the Milwaukee Brewers? We know it's Wisconsin's team, but putting them up there, it's okay.
Dante, I get where you're coming from, man. And I'm there very happy you bought all that stuff. Thanks for the call. Let me know if you find shoes. Maybe I'd get down some shoes.
You Nike ID them, Sparky.
What?
You Nike ID them. You go on there and you make them yourself. You can like design the shoes to like match the colors and stuff. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You can go on like Nike.com and you
can create your own shoes.
You pick like a base
so
shoe.
we could create Tommy. Wait, hold on.
We could make Tommy.
We
shoes.
could create Tommy words like the big old hunk of love shoes and stuff you could wear.
We could do that.
Really?
Uh-huh.
And we could create Thunder like his own purple like shoes.
That. Thunder would be so happy if we surprised him with some shoes. Yeah.
So for around the holidays, everybody could get their own different pair of shoes that we could create for all the people that work at the station.
I think we can make that work. Yeah.
That could be fun.
I'm not going to be the one to design them all, so we're going to have to get somebody else on the team to do
Why?
that.
You're the one that does all the graphic art for us.
Yeah, but I don't want to design a bunch of shoes for everybody.
Yeah, it'll be fine. They'll be fine with it, whatever it ends up being. I had somebody come up to me here. He's over at the cash register. And he's like, hey, there is a Wisco tie here in our neck of the woods. And I said, yeah. He said, yeah. Wisconsin Lutheran High School. Well, called them Wisco forever. And that is very true.
And
I have called them Wisco for as long as I remember. I used to do sideline reporting for Fox 6 in Milwaukee for, I don't know, almost a decade, I guess it was. And we would always call them Wisco, no matter what the case was. To this day, I call them Wisco.
And their basketball team, who just won a state championship, they unveiled new jerseys this year that have Wisco in the same script on them. So it's kind of the same.
I'm old enough to remember when the football program was really, really good year in and year out. And there really wasn't a lot of talk about the basketball program. And now it's completely flipped. And now there's a lot of talk about the basketball program for the last couple of years. So, so there is a Wisco tie, I guess, at the end of the day. I want to get into this NIL thing, and we will, but we're up against another break. So I don't want to get into it and then have to stop. So instead, Wendy's really outdid themselves with these new biggie deals at $4, $6, and $8. The new biggie deals are bigger and biggier than ever. If you're feeling something snacky, you can get the $4 Biggie Bites. Feeling something medium, get yourself a $6 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger. If you want to go full Biggie, you get the $8 Biggie Bundle with your choice of 2 sandwiches, a small soft drink, and a Junior Fry. The choice is yours. For a pretty biggie deal, it's got to be over there at Wendy's. Again, Rally House Collection, come on up. Get your City Connect jerseys. If I would have came to you, Charlie Usen, and said, hey, man, Brewers need an alternate jersey for this City Connect. If that's a place that we wanted to go with this whole thing at the end of the day, what would you have potentially thought?
All right. So First of all, I would like to preface this by saying I loved last year's. I think the light blue with the Brew Crew was perfect. I think that light blue color really stands out. My favorite Brewers jerseys of all time, though, are the gold ones that they used to wear all the time. I would like if they brought back the gold.
The Cerveceros jerseys?
Well, they had the Cerveceros, and then they just had them as Brewers on the front, too, for a little while. Yep. I want the gold ones back, make it like beer-themed, kind of a beer-themed jersey. I think that would be pretty cool. You don't seem sold.
No, I mean, it's fine.
Or if
you wanted to this is everybody's opinion. I don't think anybody is necessarily right. It's whatever people would buy.
If you want to stay in that same kind of vein, too, if you want to do kind of a gradient, kind of funky looking one, maybe some kind of like brown and red combo to make it look like an old fashioned, do like old fashioned jerseys, that'd be kind of sick. I think you could figure something out cool with that. I'm not that deep into the graphic design world yet, but I think we can figure that out.
Sounds like I went to the bathroom and had a long stay on the toilet with that.
You can have brown jerseys. You don't think brown jerseys can work?
You said brown and red,
well, like red accents and stuff. You know,
I mean,
like
if that
a cherry
happens,
on the top, like with the old fashions.
If that happens, you call the doctor. Like there's no man.
You drink old fashions, right? That's a Wisconsin classic.
Here, all right, fine. You know what? Since you brought it up, I'll bring up what they are doing. This will make you happy. So they have the new City Connect uniforms, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The Brewers are also continuing their tribute to the state of Wisconsin with a nod to one of its most beloved traditions, supper clubs.
There you go.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
The Supper Club inspired menu, they're going to have these Supper Club pop-ups at American Family Field. The Supper Club inspired menu will debut tomorrow against the Nationals. For one time only, the Supper Club menu will be available the entire weekend this weekend. Future pop-up supper clubs will coincide with City Connect Wear jersey games, game dates, which are all Friday home games. You'll see these Wisco jerseys being worn. The Supper Club menu, Charlie, created in partnership with Black Shoe Hospitality, celebrates the timeless Wisconsin tradition of gathering with family and old friends on Friday evenings to enjoy comforting home-style dishes and a classic brandy old-fashioned.
All right.
Bringing the nostalgic experience into the lively atmosphere of the ballpark. Featured offerings such as the prime rib grilled cheese sandwich, hearty meatloaf sandwich, and the walleyes served with potato pancakes and applesauce evoke the warmth of familiar Supper Club staples, while favorites like fried mushrooms with marinara, a crisp relish tray, and steak fries paired with truffled aioli round out the spread. The menu also highlights iconic Wisconsin cocktails and desserts, including a brandy old-fashioned cheesecake parfait, a brandy Alexander, and a grasshopper beverage, all thoughtfully crafted to honor the flavors and traditions that make supper clubs a beloved local institution. Plus, they're going to have a specialty cocktail called the Bobber.
Does it come
that will be available? It's going to be available at every home game all season long, served in a souvenir-style baseball bobber cup.
Okay,
the cocktail features drink Wisconsin brandy with house-made Door County cherry simple syrup, orange bitters, and Sprite.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I might have to get myself a bobber at least one of
these. Because you want the cup.
Oh, 100%.
Because you want the cup.
I don't even really like old fashions a lot.
What if it's $75 like the Otani?
No shot. No shot. I refuse. If it's like, I would pay for a bobber cup with a really good old fashioned in it, $28, $29, I think.
It's probably gonna be around 30 would be my guess.
Okay.
I did not put pricing in here, so I'm not quite sure for certain what it's gonna be, but yeah. All right, coming up next, there is a report out about what these NIL contracts are going to look like for these top basketball players in the portal. My question simply is, should these guys even still have to go to school if they're making this much money? We're going to talk about that next. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Welcome back. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily here live from Riley House Mayfair Collection. Got all your new Brewer City Connect jerseys with the word Wisco written across the front of it, all kinds of different colors with that blue background to go along with it. Wisco with what they call sunset colors is what's the outline of the word Wisco on the front of it. Got a new Barrelman logo with the state of Wisconsin that's multicolored in the background on it. They've got a fishing bobber. So they got bobber gear out here. They got new Barrelman hats, all the new Wisco stuff that you possibly could want. I would say there's probably 10 to 12 different variations of shirts or sweatshirts with all the new Brewers City Connect stuff on it. I got one here from the 715. 715 rant. Wouldn't even purchase a piece of merchandise with MKE on it. I do think it's Wisconsin's team, not just Milwaukee. Let's see here. This all breaks up here. Just Milwaukee. See this, how our jersey, how our text messages look. I can't even keep track of all
some
this.
people are like writing paragraphs, and I think it's breaking.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yes, there's something in here that says more people tend to say Scotty. The W on the cap sucks. And the barrel jerseys have numerous flaws. No one in the Northwood says Wisco. Okay. That's fine. We had a guy from Green Bay that says it's very popular saying Wisco in Green Bay. So that's fine. That's fine as well.
A couple people have said that. I see one here from Justin in North Carolina. He says, not the best answer to this because I would buy whatever Milwaukee themed. The old City Connect was so spot on that this one doesn't measure up to the old one.
414 says, I've heard of Wisco, but I've never used it. I live just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I use Scotty more than Wisconsin. I really like the jersey and the T-shirts and the hat. Another person asked if they have a jacket here. They do have a jacket, and I will go find it in the next break, and I'll bring it over here for you to look at. It's more like a whitish color, whitish cream color. It's on one of the end caps here of one of these aisles. Will is on the mission. I don't think it's there, Will. I think it's down here on one of the end caps to the left. See, I did my research, Charlie, here at Rally House Mayfair Collection.
Scouting first.
Yeah, man, people walk in. I'm hollering at people as they walk in. Make sure they take care of this, man.
Ziggy's asking if you're taking orders, Sparky. If you're going to start filling orders for people.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. So here's the. No, I'm not taking orders for you, Ziggy. So here is the jacket.
Oh, I like that.
I have that held up on X and on YouTube right now if you're streaming us at WI Sports Radio. So that's not bad. And then on the back, it says the word forward. He's out.
I don't know if I like that.
Charlie saw the word forward down the back.
Well, I just don't like the
I don't want that jacket
anymore. I don't like the color of it. No. I like the front. Yeah. The back, I don't know if I'm rocking with.
So it's like beige and white. Can you tell the difference in color there as you're looking at it?
Yeah, a little bit. Like right in the armpit, it turns white.
Right. And then on the back, it's white with that cream color too. But it's not a bad looking jacket.
I like the front. I just don't like the back. I don't know. The back throws me off a little bit.
So yeah, so that's what the jacket looks like. Today's the day to be on streaming us on X and on YouTube. I'm just telling you because we got stuff we've been showing all day on X and YouTube. And again, if you come out here between now and 5 o'clock, you can register to win a $100 Rally House gift card. I don't know why you wouldn't take advantage of that. We've already signed up several people that have come out here to do that. I wanted to get into some of this NIL stuff that we were talking about, and this comes from Field of 68. Jeff Goodman, who was with ESPN for a long time, went off and started his own podcast type series, and it's been super popular for the last couple of years. They've done a great job with it. So he says the Field of 68 has polled 10 plus high major head coaches, assistants, and GMs for the following prices that elite top 25 guys, portal players, will likely command. So these are top 25 guys at each position, okay, in the portal. Wing players, so like guards, small forwards, $2.5 to $3 million a year. Point guards, $3 to $4 million a year. And big men, power forward centers, $4 to $5 million a year. And you wonder why Nolan Winter is thinking about going into the transfer portal at $4 to $5 million a year. Pulaskis just went in. He's not going to get $4 to $5 million. But what if he got $1 million that he can't get at Wisconsin?
Based off that tells me that.
And what's Blackwell going to get?
Well, Blackwell is probably going to be one of the best players in the class. So I think he's going to get command
At
a lot
least three.
if he doesn't go to the NBA. That's the
Right.
other thing. If he doesn't go to the NBA, I think Bielowski's will definitely get $1 million based off of that, because it just says the scarcity of that position is not great. And you're looking at a group that you have to go out and pay a little bit more for some of these top tier talents. He proved in the Big Ten tournament he could be a player for any kind of team. I don't know. This is just crazy to me how much money we're just talking about so openly, when just a couple of years ago it was hard to even get numbers out of people.
Let me help put this into perspective for you, okay? In the NBA, in the 24-25 season, okay, the number, 10 pick in the draft made $6 million a year on their rookie contract. $6 million. The top big men in college in the portal, according to this, is $4 to $5 million. That was the number 10 pick 2 years ago. The number 20 pick 2 years ago was $3.71 million. Pick 30 was $2.5 million. I mean, legitimately, if they're telling Blackwell, hey, man, you could go bottom third of the first round or into the second round, or you can get maybe $4 million in the portal, I can make more by staying another year and playing college basketball, partying and doing my thing, or I could go work for a living the rest of my life and make less in the NBA and don't even know if I'm going to play all that much, because more than likely, if it's at the bottom of one, it's on a really good basketball team, so you may not even get to play.
Right. I think if I'm John Blackwell, I definitely come back to college now one more year, because what they're doing with the eligibility rules too, and we'll get to that later on in the show, and changing that, this is like the perfect time to just try to get as much as you can, transfer to wherever you want while you can, instead of going to the NBA and being like John Tanji, who got drafted late in the second round actually, and now is just bouncing around teams, not making the same amount of money he could have if he potentially could have stayed another year of college.
Yeah, but see, this is why I said this, and the question that I had is simply, should we even be making these kids go to school at this point? I mean, you're making $4 to $5 million, and we're going to harp on, they got to go to school. Charlie, tell me the last big name player in college basketball that was academically ineligible. I'll wait.
Cardale Jones, probably. He was ineligible for a little bit, I'm pretty sure, and he got in trouble. And that's when he had that big interview about, like, didn't come here to play school. I wanted to play football and stuff like that.
No, that's football. I'm saying basketball.
Basketball.
What big name basketball player can you come up with that wasn't playing in the tournament because they were academically ineligible?
None of
them. Can you come up with anybody?
Can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
Nope, neither can I. Now, is that because all of these kids got super smart, are nose to the grindstone in their books and doing unbelievably hard work and studying their tail end off, and players are just so much more into it, making millions of dollars? Now we care about our grades more than we did prior to not making much of anything?
No, I feel like these teams can't be related to the schools, though, if the kids aren't going to class. Like, these teams NCAA has to become its own entity.
Are they going to class?
They're doing something. They're doing the easiest classes possible. That's something, I guess. If you're just going to completely ignore that, it's got to be its own entity.
That's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, 48 beers on tap at the Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen. And don't forget, over a dozen different specialty cocktails. Reserve your seat today. Let's talk about the Crew coming up next. Time now for your fan weather forecast, brought to you by Gravely Zero-Turn Commercial Mowers. 63 degrees, fair skies out right now. Rain in the forecast tonight starting around 8 o'clock. A low tonight of 40 degrees.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. We broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Charlie Usen producing today's show. We're out here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Come on out, scan the QR code, have a chance to win a $100 Rally House gift card. More importantly than even that, these new City Connect jerseys are out here. They got sweatshirts, T-shirts, jersey shirts. They got hats, all kinds of different stuff that you can get out here with all kinds of different logos on them. Like if you like the new Bobber logo that they have Bobber logo sweatshirts that say Brewers across the top of it. They got T-shirts with just the Bobber on it as well. So Brewers definitely the news today, I would say, around the state of Wisconsin with these new City Connect jerseys that are out here. Also, some breaking news with the state of Wisconsin and Tony Evers. Tony Evers put out a thing today saying, while I'm enacting Assembly Bill 601 today, I also want to be clear about the concerns, blah, blah, blah. But essentially what has happened is this bill means a broader collection of tribal nations in Wisconsin can reap the benefits of increased gaming revenues. So the mobile device, mobile app will now be available essentially from all the tribal casinos and so forth around the state of Wisconsin. Now, my understanding, and we're going to try and get somebody on for the Potawatomi Casino Hotel tomorrow, where we're efforting to try and get somebody on the 9 to noon show with John Kuhn, as he is an ambassador for the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. My understanding of this is it's probably going to be something like a app that you would get at Oneida or at Potawatomi or wherever the case may be around the state. You get the app. Then you would have to download the app and program the app all there on tribal property at their casino or whatever the case may be, right? And then after that, you could do online wagering with their sportsbook anywhere you may be going forward after that. So you could be essentially on your couch potentially making bets on whatever games that you want to make bets on and so forth. But I think, and again, they haven't come out with the official details of this, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. But I think how this is going to go is you're going to have to be on property to download the app and use your whatever. I don't know if they'll connect it to rewards play members or how this whole thing will play out, but it'll be something along that. So the whole online betting illegal thing and so forth, now they have figured out a way to make it legalized through the tribal casinos and so forth going forward. A gigantic step for the tribal casinos around the state of Wisconsin with Tony Evers signing this one in just moments ago, Charlie. A big, big deal for everybody.
Yeah, it's huge. This is something that is, first of all, just groundbreaking in the terms of gaming in Wisconsin in general, but to also give that power still to the casinos that you've already given that kind of control of the gaming market to, which I think is a really cool idea in the state, to allow them to have the sports betting side of things too and give them first nudge at that is a really cool deal. And with the way it's expanding, it was kind of inevitable that you were going to allow it in Wisconsin. It's cool that you're allowing it for the casinos first.
Okay, so the other part about this is something else that goes along with it. So, no, there is not online sports wagering now or soon in Wisconsin. Evers did frame it as the beginning of a conversation. He says in here, this legislation is the beginning of a conversation, not the end of one. The real work begins today. Each of the 11 tribes must now work diligently and together to shape the future of sports betting in Wisconsin. What I will not accept is a plan that fractures this opportunity into unequal pieces, allowing some tribes to reap great benefits while leaving only crumbs for others. An approach that exasperates longstanding inequalities among tribal nations is not good for Wisconsinites or Wisconsin. Will not entertain it as governor. The tribal nations have recently begun these discussions in earnest. I'm pleased to see more equitable models for sharing the risks and rewards of mobile gaming emerging moving forward. It is my expectation that each tribal nation have the opportunity to provide meaningful feedback and input as this process continues. I further ask any model that puts us a few tribes on top. Okay, so he wants essentially an equal share of the pie in this whole deal is what he is looking for. Before you essentially get all these mobile gaming apps up and going. So he's waiting on that, but it is a step closer to getting this thing launched. And I would think if you are any one of these, right, if you're Oneida, if you're Potawatomi or whatever else, aren't you wanting this done before football season starts, Charlie? I mean,
you would
isn't that the goal? We're in April right now. Draft's coming up. So that gives you April to May, April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August to so that gives you 5 months for all these tribes to come together, figure out a plan that Tony Evers is good with as far as the money the state will get versus the money that will be split amongst the tribal communities, and then get this thing up and off the ground potentially by football season. I think that's the goal. Obviously, the goal is to get it done at some point, whether that be this year, next year, the year after that, but you'd want to get it done before football.
And you would think that with all of this kind of going through the motions already to get to Governor Evers, that they would have already started coming up with plans because they felt like this is something that could potentially happen, that they're already talking with each other to plan this out as quickly as possible. Again, this already got past college basketball, which is when I think ideally you would have liked it to start, but to get it to start by the NFL season would be the next best spot.
Got one here from the 262. I do not like that tribes to have a monopoly on sports betting. If that is the case, need to open it up to places like MGM, Caesars, etc. I believe in other states that this is how it essentially began in other states. And then after a period of time, they eventually opened it up to everybody. So now that's how it's worked everywhere else. That does not mean that's how it's going to work in this state, because a lot of this is going to depend on who the governor is and what the politicians think in the state of Wisconsin. I was a part of years ago being down in Kenosha. I was a dog track announcer at Dairyland Greyhound Park back in the day for like 7.5 years. And at one point, we thought we were going to become a casino, and we had a celebration party, all of that stuff. And then the governor, who I believe at that time was Tommy Thompson, moved into the federal government role. And the person that came in behind him said, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. We're not going to do that. That's not going to be a thing. And crushed everybody's dreams down there that they were going to end up with a casino. Kenosha to this day still has been working on trying to get a casino down in that area. But, there's so many things that go into it, and all these tribes signing off and being a part of this and so forth, and then having the right people in the government to sign off to give you that opportunity as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a different process. And that's why I said before to let these tribes have the first crack at it and give them the first shot to get through this, because I do probably expect it to expand. At the same time, do we really need to open it up to MGMs either? Like, are those casinos and those sports books doing not great enough that they can be okay without being in Wisconsin too, and allow the Wisconsin kind of culture that we've had through this gaming commission, through the tribes, to continue to thrive? I think that's something that I'd rather support than just, opening up to those ones. Potawatomi's odds are pretty damn close to the Vegas odds, if not the same. Absolutely. All the time. So I don't know if it's really that different.
And I think from the state of Wisconsin standpoint, you want a kickback, right? You want a percentage of this to go towards Wisconsin, or the area where the money is coming into, where the tribes are located across each state. A percentage of that money goes towards whatever. So the state of Wisconsin would make something back on this as well. And I think that's part of Evers' deal. And he also doesn't want to see, one tribe get all the money and then everybody else just gets, crumbs back essentially at the end of the day. He wants more of an equal split. So we'll see how this whole thing progresses from there. It's time to talk about the Crew.
It's time to talk about the Crew. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
All right, let's get to it. Yesterday was not a good day for the Milwaukee Brewers. The day before that was not a good day for the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, today is a good day for the Brewers because they launched these new City Connect jerseys. President of Business Operations, Rick Schlesinger, will join us coming up at 4:25. Rick Schlesinger, President of Business Operations for the Brewers, will join us at 4:25. We'll get more in depth on these jerseys, on this supper club deal that they're going to start as well at American Family Field, this new bobber cocktail that they're going to be serving throughout the home games all season long. So lots to talk to Rick Schlesinger about. But baseball-wise, Charlie, you and I had this conversation a little bit yesterday during the game, and I think we were at a commercial. I don't know if we were even on the air talking about it, and that is, man, I don't know. I really feel like some of these guys probably don't even belong on a major league roster at this point. It is a struggle. Matos has not shown necessarily that he deserves to be on this roster from a major league standpoint. That's number one.
Based on his stats, not really a shocker. No.
Not even stats. There's been nothing to write home about. Then, number two, David Hamilton. The big leap that was expected from David Hamilton per Pat Murphy. Well, there's been no leap. There hasn't even been a hop. There hasn't even been a little bit of a skip off of the ground. He's not even gotten off the ground to have any type of air whatsoever. He gets as much air as I do when I take a jump shot. Not much. So, from that perspective, that's been a failure. Rengifo, I swear to you, every game I see people on X going, he stinks, get rid of him, we don't want Luis Rengifo. And then do you know what's happening? A guy named Andrew Fisher goes and hits a grand slam last night in the Timber Rattlers game. And everybody's like, that's good. Let's bring him up. Let's move along. Tim Allen, big proponent. Give me Andrew Fisher tomorrow. And they've got him in A ball right now. Like, he's not even close to being called up. I don't think I've ever heard of a player, certainly not for the Brewers, ever going from A ball to the big leagues on a call-up. Like, that's not happening. So he's going to have to go through A ball for a couple months at least. Then maybe in June you could get him to Double A. And then next year he starts probably in Double A or Triple A and then has an opportunity at some point next year to be there. I would love to see him be the third baseman opening day for the Brewers. If that works, I think the biggest hangup won't be his hitting. I think the biggest hangup is going to be defensively. Can he just be average at third base going forward? But right now, Matos, not good. Hamilton, not good. Rengifo, not good at this point. Joey Ortiz has not been that great offensively either. He had a couple of games early, but that hasn't really been clicking at this point. First base, Jake Bauers stinks. So that hasn't worked out at this point either, as far as all the Babe Ruth stuff he was doing in spring training, including opening day. That was nice, but it was short-lived, and that's not who he is.
Gary Sanchez kind of rocks at first.
Gary Sanchez, okay. Did you see him make that sprawling grab of falling over? Yeah. So Gary Sanchez, we'll see. Again, I'm not quite sure I'm convinced that he is that. He's definitely that power hitter. Like, I could see him hitting 30 home runs, but I could see him hitting 225 while doing it.
And I'm pretty sure
he's get to that point.
He started this like same kind of way the first stint with the Brewers that he had, and then completely cooled off the rest of the season. Wasn't useful. Yeah, he starts off hot, and he's done that with the Yankees, with the Padres, wherever he's been.
Right, it's a long season, right? So those guys that we're talking about outside of Gary Sanchez, those guys are all guys that if you replace them with league average players, you're probably significantly better offensively. If you just replace them with league average guys, then we get to the outfield. Now, Garrett Mitchell has done more than you could possibly have wanted at this point, so nobody's going to chirp about him. Yelich, outfielder / DH, has done more than anybody possibly could have wanted, so there's nothing to chirp about him. We're waiting for Sal Frelick to show up in 2026. So at some point, hopefully he'll show up in 26 with his bat. They need his bat to get going here because it's not been going. Lockridge has not been that guy either. That's another guy that was hot in spring training. They had to put him on the roster, so they brought him up. And then Blake Perkins gets the first call because he was kind of the surprise guy they sent down. He stinks. So that's not an option either. I mean, legitimately right now, this team is 8-4 with a couple of guys that are really just playing really, really well, holding them up there to be enough offensively to get this thing going. And they're scoring runs. I mean, they didn't obviously yesterday against Boston, but I mean, they get 5, 6 runs a game seemingly each and every night. But when you lose Terang for a couple of games, that kills you because he's been one of those guys at the top of the lineup that's been pretty good. Then you still don't have Churio. You still don't have Vaughn at this point either. And it looks like Churio will be back before Vaughn. So you haven't really had your full stacked lineup yet this season. And you're 8-4. I know it stinks losing to the Red Sox, who had 2 wins coming into this series. They doubled their win total thanks to the Milwaukee Brewers at Fenway. But still, overall, I think you still have to be relatively happy as a Brewers fan, even though, again, there's several guys on this team that probably wouldn't be on other rosters.
Probably not. And I think with the Brewers, like you mentioned before, it's a long season. Let these guys get healthy. Let some of these guys maybe get going a little bit. Like before the season, you were talking about how excited you are for Joey Ortiz, and you felt like he could kind of get back and get his bat going again. Give him some time. Let's see a little bit. And then with Andrew Fisher, you pointed it out. I think the thing they're working on in single A is the defense. And I think once he gets the defense down a little bit better, he's going to fly through the minor leagues because the bat isn't a worry. I think they're trying to put him at the lowest level to get the easiest type of practice for that defense. And then once they feel comfortable that he feels comfortable, then you can move him up because you don't need to work on defense at AA. You don't need to work on defense in AAA. Just get him through the minors. I think you could see Andrew Fisher faster and move through the minors faster than most guys you've seen in the past with this Brewers organization.
Have you looked at the Nashville Sounds players?
Mm-hmm.
I know you say it's early. Don't worry. Brock Wilkins hitting under 100.
Uh-huh.
He's hitting like 80.
Maybe he
like,
needs
not
to
800.
Bit, yeah.
Like 80 he is hitting. Jet Williams is hitting like $160, $170 at this point. I mean, that AAA team, not good hitting the baseball right now. And again, a lot of those guys are playing years before they should be. A lot of those guys are playing 4 years younger, 3 years younger than what the league average is at AAA. So they've been pushed to see how they can do now at this level, just like they've been pushed, to get to AA when they're 3 or like last year. Terang was almost 4 years younger. Not Terang. Cooper Pratt was almost 4 years younger last year in AA. This year at AAA, he's hitting 200, by the way, Cooper Pratt. He's like 5 years younger than the league average. So that all has to come in here where when these young guys start off slow at AAA, you can't get all that worried about it, right? Check back in June because it's going to take them a little while to adapt to how they're being pitched and get accustomed to stuff. And then I feel like by June, these guys should be kicking it and rolling along. And then you'll really start to have more conversations about, okay, a third of this roster stinks. Should we start bringing people up from Nashville to try and help this offense? And maybe with Churio and Vaughn coming back and Terang gets back, this doesn't matter as much because these guys are bench players and they don't have huge impacts like they're having right now, having to play day to day.
Yeah, potentially. And I think that with those transitions of getting guys that are going from the Sounds up to the major league level, those guys aren't going at that June mark. Do you say, hey, Jesus Mate is hitting really well at Biloxi, we got to bring him up. Andrew Fisher is hitting really well and playing solid defense, we got to start moving him up. And some of these other guys, you're losing your opportunity. I think at some point here, yes, we can wait till June, but then this Brewers organization through all levels has to start making decisions, especially if the major league bats aren't hitting and you have so many young bats that are ready just to play baseball, and you're seeing other young bats across the league make their impact.
Coming up next, we're going to talk with Matt Bernstein, former Badgers fullback, part of the Believe in Badgers podcast. We'll talk about this in-state recruiting class the Badgers have. Unbelievable, really unbelievable. And we'll get his thoughts on the NCAA considering a new rule for college athletes, which would mean instead of 4 years of eligibility, you will get 5 years of eligibility. However, these red shirt years and all that, those go out the window. You're just going to get 5 years. You can play however you want to play, but there will be no sixth year asking for 6 years or asking for 7 or asking for 8 year. All that's going to go out the window. You get 5 years. That's all you get, regardless of how hurt you are or not. Hey, did you know that any youth sports player can score a free small classic Frosty anytime they visit Wendy's in their sports uniform? That's right. Just stop by after practice or with your team after a game. Who doesn't love a Frosty? I'm telling you, you should take your whole team in there. Have a team practice, and y'all should walk into the closest Wendy's and take advantage of that. I think people behind the counter were like pass out having to make all those Frosties, but that's okay. Let's see if we can get that done. Matt Bernstein comes up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. they're going to hire me here at Rally House. They're going to hire me right here. I'm telling you. I'm working the people as they're walking in for these guys. I'm all over it, Charlie. I think I'm going to get a part-time job out here at Rally House.
No matter
I'll come
where
hang out
you
with these
go,
guys.
you just all of a sudden become like the manager of the place.
Yeah, it's
like
fun.
every
Yeah,
bar,
you're
like
right.
directing people places, telling
Yep.
people where to go. You're just the manager wherever you go.
Yeah, and you know what the great part about it is, even when I'm not on the radio, I still do that at other places. If I hear something oh, I wonder where this is. Oh, here, I'll show you where it is. I walk them over and show where it is. I'm just a nice guy like that. I'm just trying to help people out.
Right,
I mean, why wouldn't you come out here to Rally House Mayfair collection and use the QR code for a chance to win a $100 Rally House gift card? Plus, you got these new Wisco Brewers City Connect jerseys and shirts and sweatshirts and hats all out here right now. All this stuff dropped today. This is day one of all this new paraphernalia that you can get your hands on for the Brewers. They will be debuting the new jerseys and hats tomorrow night at American Family Field. So definitely get your hands on that. Joining us now on X and on YouTube on the SI Line, powered by Gruber Law. One call. Oh, there he is, Matt Bernstein, flexing the guns to start off here on a Thursday. Matt, how are we?
Everyone, it's great. It's great to see you. Usually we do this on the phone, so it's really nice to see you.
Yeah.
My kid is home, so she might make some guest appearances, but I gave her the iPad, so we'll see. Don't tell my wife. She's flying actually home from Milwaukee right now. So so if she's listening, sorry, honey, but it's okay.
Hey, so how old is the daughter? How old are we talking about here?
Almost 5.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, she runs my show like Barry ran my show. So
I have a 3-year-old, and she can be a nightmare. So I don't even want to know what 5 is.
Bless you.
Bless me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, let's talk about Badgers recruiting before we go anywhere else, because you and I have talked several times here in the last year or so about Badgers recruiting, Luke Fickell, and so forth. He has not recruited the state of Wisconsin like he is right now. His entire recruiting class for 27 are all Wisconsin kids. They're ranked in the top 15 as we sit here today. And I heard Luke Fickell talk about this, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, saying, hey, there's a lot of really great talent in the state of Wisconsin this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I take from that of maybe there wasn't the last couple of years, and that's why he wasn't as hot to trot for the state, even though Badger alumni are saying, recruit the state. People in the state are saying, recruit the state. And it looks like, no, I'm good. I'm going to go elsewhere. But this year, he planted his flag. Now, whether or not he keeps it planted next year, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, listen, it makes me happy to see these kids from the state, from towns I've never heard of, coming to Wisconsin. I think it's important, and we've had heroes from Wisconsin in places that you never heard of, and all of a sudden they had a class of 17. They had to beg people to play football so they could have a team. And I think it's special. I think Luke Fickell's vision from the beginning was this, and I think it's just taken him time to ramp up and be able to get to where he wants to be. And there are always obstacles, and I think NIL and transfer portal have been kind of crazy to get your head wrapped around that. I think, he makes a statement of like, why high school kids? What's the point? They're not going to be on your team in 2 years. Or you're going up now. We're going to talk about this, but you're going up against grown-ups, men who should be playing in the NFL. Like Indiana's team, almost all of them should be in the NFL, the age at least. So I think his vision and where he wanted to be is exactly where he is now. And it makes me happy. I think he's also listening to people saying, what does everyone else think? And sometimes that is actually helpful. But to build a culture that you want to build at Wisconsin, which we've had in the Barry era, is Wisconsin kids are the foundation, and you speckle in a little bit of these other guys.
The other part about this too, I mean, for so long in Wisconsin, you had your offensive linemen from the state. You may have gone and got skill positions from New Jersey and the East Coast and that area, right? That's where you got your wide receivers and your corners and stuff like that. You kind of recruited the East Coast back in the day with Barry Alvarez, but the state is where you got all the big guys up front on the offensive line. And he isn't the only one that went away from that. I mean, we go back to Gary Anderson. He was the originator of saying, nope, I need smaller, more athletic offensive linemen to run my offense. And that's kind of what they ended up doing in the beginning here with their little air raid offense and went away. Now, after like taking a brick to the head of, oh, no, we have to run the football in the Big Ten. Now we've decided we want bigger offensive linemen, and now we're back in the state of Wisconsin. wanting to do that. What did you make of this offense last year that they ran, and how different do you think it becomes this year?
I think it's night and day. I think it's night and day for a number of reasons. One, who can prepare for I don't think we had the resources to have a quarterback room like we do right now, where you probably have 3 starters in that room at different who could start at different colleges, right? We put resources into that room. I'm sure those guys are all getting paid 7 figures, which blows my mind, but we don't have to go down there. So I think you're going to hopefully not see a quarterback get injured, right? That is 4 years in a row. It can't happen. If Colton Joseph's our guy with the way they want to run this offense, I think that they did everything to get him. He's going to be the guy, and he's going to run a fantastically different offense than we've ever seen. I'm a huge Carter Smith fan. The guy had no time to prepare to play in a serious football league. So what you saw last year, the guy was a competitor. He beat Washington State. That was a great game to be at. Yes, he didn't throw the ball that great, but how can you throw the ball after 2 weeks of practice? Like, it's just not, none of these guys can get to that level. But I think you also will see huge dudes on the O-line this year. I think we invested a ton of money in O-linemen. And listen, it's the carousel. That's what happens with every team. Guys are in and guys are out. But I think we went out and attacked and got starters, guys who have played at other schools who can make a difference this year. And I think what you're seeing, at least at spring ball, is a lot of these, they're not mixing and matching what they did in the past couple of years with offensive linemen moving positions and not starting the same 5 guys. I think you're going to see the same 5 guys practice throughout the spring.
Talking with Matt Bernstein, former Badger fullback, part of the Believe in Badgers podcast. It's amazing. Him and Matt Perkins do such a great job. We have on a litany of great guests on their podcast as well. Definitely subscribe and follow to the Believe in Badgers podcast. He joins us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Pfeiffer at Rally House in Mayfair Collection. New Brewers jerseys, City Connect jerseys just dropped today. Come in, check out all the cool sportswear they have for that. So I want to talk about this other thing that happened, which is Chris McIntosh going to Tony Evers and the government and said, hey, man, I need money. Like, we're not going to survive. And if I don't get money, I'm going to start cutting some of these Olympic sports. Y'all like rowing? See ya, it's gone, and so forth. So Tony Evers says, okay, we got you. So they're going to get like $14.1 million. It's going to be split. Majority of it goes to Madison, but Milwaukee's going to get some. Green Bay's going to get some, and they're going to split it out. Now, this is supposed to be for repairs and that type of stuff on the campuses. But that means that you can use that money that you were using before now towards NIL and paying for players and trying to keep this thing more competitive. Realistically, at the end of the day, in your mind, do they have to be top 5 spenders in the Big Ten to have a chance? Do they have to be top half of the Big Ten to have a chance? Because I don't think you could have a chance in being the bottom third of the Big Ten in spending. I don't think you can compete at that level.
No, I agree. You can't compete at that level. I mean, there's no way that happens anymore. You're not having the 2 or 3 stars that used to come from, Wisconsin or out of state and get developed and then become, the 4-year player, the guy who's been there, and then become this dude the junior year or senior year. Like, you just don't see that anymore. Like me, redshirt senior, I would have, who knows what would have happened if someone's like, I'll give you $500,000 to go to play somewhere else. I mean, I don't know what happens.
But see, that's the thing, Matt. This is what cracks me up. People get mad that somebody's going into the portal. And Doug Gottlieb, who, is the coach at UW Green Bay for men's basketball, he's on every Wednesday morning on our morning show at 8 a.m. And he laid it out there perfectly the other day. He said, hey, look, so your kid's making $200,000 per year in college. And now you get word from a D1 program or 2 D1 programs that, hey, man, we're going to give you $750,000 if you come play for us. Do you really expect that kid to say, no, I'm going to show my loyalty and stay here at the $500,000 thing? And people get mad. John Blackwell is going into the transfer portal if he doesn't end up in the NBA. I went back earlier in the show. I kid you not, Matt Bernstein. I went back and I looked at NBA draft slot money because all that money is slotted. There's no negotiations in the NBA. That you don't need an agent your first contract in the NBA. You just need a lawyer. So it's all slotted. Man, some of the guys, what they're getting in the portal this year on the wing are making more than the bottom of the first round in the NBA draft in 2024. The big men, they're saying you're going to make $4 to $5 million in the portal this year. If you're like a top 25 big man in college basketball in this portal class, that would have put you into the top 12 of the NBA draft in 2024 on money per year basis. I can't be mad at anybody that goes into the portal at this point. I don't care if you grew up in Wisconsin, lived in Madison, whole deal. Your grandpa is Barry Alvarez. If you get a chance to make all this money, you got to go if Wisconsin can't come close.
Sparky, it pains me to see Blackwell leave. I think he wanted to be a lifelong Badger. But $5 million, like I'll never make that in my lifetime. And I'm not even close to making it. So I can't even fathom that. Like, if I was making $1 million, let's say, and someone says, I'll give you $5 million, that's a drastic difference. That's literally life-changing, right? His whole family's maybe not forever, but for a very long time, you can live off of that money. You know, I think it becomes, we actually talking with Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike today, and he's like, but would you stay if we got close? Like, let's say Blackwell got 4.8, but Wisconsin can't get close. That's the issue. So you get back to this 14.2 million spread across all the teams we have. We have too many teams. And I actually...
Oh, not all the teams. Now, hold on. Let's be honest. They're not all getting money. I mean, football's getting money. Basketball's getting money. Maybe women's basketball. Maybe some crumbs to hockey. But rowing's not getting money. I mean, they don't even have a damn baseball team at Wisconsin, so we know there's no money going towards a baseball.
But Sparky, there's 20-something teams that we have. Listen, I'm not saying we should get rid of these teams. I'm just saying it's a lot. LSU probably has like 15 teams. They are 12 teams. They are much more different structurally than we are. But I think everyone's going to get something. I can't see him just saying we'll give you $14 million, sadly, for just football and basketball and maybe hockey is not a lot of money now. So, like,
$14 million right now gets you like top, 3 really, really good players in college basketball. That would get you for Wisconsin.
Isn't that bananas? It's bananas.
Yeah.
At least in college basketball. Football, you could probably get 3 or 4, maybe 5, 6 guys. But still, then it becomes, why should a top, 5-star dude from Georgia come to Wisconsin? That's a whole different story, but we have to build that first. And I think getting the in-state kids to full circle, even Ethan McIntosh, like we got a kid from Catholic Memorial. You got to go to Catholic Memorial. I'm from New York, and I know Catholic Memorial is one of the best high school programs in the state. You got to go there. Where did Joe Thomas go? Like Brookfield Central? You got to go there.
Central, baby, where I went.
See, there you go. You got to go to these places that I remember 20 years later because everyone talked it up like it was the best football on earth. And you got to go in there and you got to get them. And these are the guys that you hope when you say, oh, LSU is going to give you 500 and we'll give you 350, but we really love you and you want to be a Badger. Maybe they stay. I don't know. That's a lot of money still, but maybe, right? That you just want them to be here 3-4 years.
Yep. Right. Now, I mean, listen to you. You sound like you're begging. I mean, that's where we are. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're watching Matt on X and YouTube, he had the puppy dog eyes going, maybe you'll stay.
Please stay.
Please.
Blackwell, come back, baby. Come back. I love watching. Listen, I'm a common basketball fan. I wouldn't even say I'm an expert, even close, but that hurts. Like to be a fan, if I owned his jersey, like all these things as a fan, they hurt. It's not just him. 5 million reasons. I'm the first one to line up to say, dude, jump ship. Like you're nuts to stay. But still, did you buy his jersey? You can't return. Like, and if my kid has it and he loves him, is he buying a Michigan jersey? Because he's going to go to Michigan next year. Is he going to buy a Michigan? I'm not buying a Michigan jersey. I'm canceling Amazon if that's the case. So like, and he wants to go compete. And who's got money? Some of these teams, UConn, Michigan, Kansas.
Indiana.
So
I saw this report. We talked about it the other day. As far as top line spending for college basketball, it was in the 2025 season, I guess it was. Not this last season, the season before. So this is not NIL money. This is not revenue share towards students. This is planes, hotels, all that type of stuff, right? The Badgers were at like $12 million for basketball only. Indiana was at $32 million for basketball only. The second team in the Big Ten was at like $23 million. That's only basketball, and they suck in basketball. And they still spent that much money in basketball. So God knows what they're spending in football for all those aged players that you brought up earlier to go play for Signetti. Now, that paid off. That got them a national championship, so it's all good. But again, financially, I just don't see how Wisconsin gets to that point. I want to switch gears here. We got Matt Bernstein only for a couple more minutes. So they're talking about this new rule now for the NCAA where no more worrying about red shirts and all this other stuff. We're done. You get 5 years, that's it. No appeal for a 6, no appeal for a 7, 8, or 9. None of that's going to happen. 5 years, everybody gets 5. So you go to school, you can graduate after 4, you still have a 5th year of eligibility. Everybody gets 5. What do you think?
I think the NCAA is floundering in the water and they have no clue what to do. But at least this gets you to a point where you don't have guys who are there for 8, 9, 10. You know, like it seems ridiculous that people have 8 years to play college sports. I would have loved 8 years. I also think, sadly, like the structure of the red shirt was so fun, but it's not this world, right? Like no one's going to sit in red shirt anymore. Or it's
that was the Wisconsin way. The Wisconsin way was freshmen redshirted, got bigger, got stronger, got ready to play, and then competed their sophomore year.
And God forbid anything happened to you, you had the red shirt, right? Like a starter got hurt who is a true junior could redshirt like Lee Evans and then play in his senior year or have 2 more years or whatever. Yep. I don't know. I think it hurts Wisconsin the most because we have been the brand or the group or the program that have developed guys into superstars. I mean, look at JJ Watt. I mean, you're talking about the walk-on culture. Is that important anymore? I mean, it begs to say maybe because they don't really get counted in some of the NIL stuff. But what happens when they have a great year? Then they're not considered a walk-on. They're just going to go somewhere else. It pains me to see, like, I think the NIL and transfer portal have hurt Wisconsin the most, only because we were a development program that you played juniors and seniors and you kind of put in a bunch of younger guys who needed to play. Sadly, I think it's a portal world.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And to the Badgers' credit, they have a top 25 portal class going into this season from what just happened. So again, that means they're spending money. Clearly, if they did that well in the portal. I have another one for you.
Please.
This has not been discussed, but I think it's a legitimate idea. Should head coaches be required to stay at a program for X amount of years before being allowed to leave for another job? Hear me out. Iowa coach, this is basketball, Ben McCollum, coached at 3 different schools in 3 consecutive years. Illinois coach Brad Underwood coached at 3 different schools in 3 consecutive years. Indiana coach Darian DeVries coached at 3 different schools in 3 consecutive years. Should these head coaches, when they sign jobs of, okay, I'm going to be the new head coach at Green Bay, you're required to stay 3 years before you can leave for another job. Or you have to stay 3 years at Marquette or 3 years at Wisconsin. You can't pick up and just roll out on the students that you just essentially recruited at the end of the day.
I hear that and I understand it, but at the end of the day, these kids can leave anytime they want. There's no allegiance to a coach, to a program, I don't want to say it's all money because it can't be all money for all these kids, but that is a huge probably proponent of it. So do I think listen, if Wisconsin said, we want to bring in a new coach and he said, I won't leave for 4 years, but you have to pay me some astronomical number, then maybe that's how you get guys to sign a contract and stay.
Yeah.
But guys who are signing smaller deals and can always level up, I guess. Why are we holding coaches accountable when these students or these athletes? I don't know if they're really students anymore, but these athletes can do whatever they want. I mean, I think college football as a whole is completely broken, and maybe college sports as a whole, but that's a whole different, bigger conversation. But I think the coaches jumping and going wherever they listen. Coaches are hiring coaches because they have a connection to a 5-star cornerback.
That's correct. Or their dad they're hiring, or whatever they have.
And there's no limit to how many coaches you can have. Back in the day, you could have 11 or 12, maybe 6 or 7 on the field. I can't remember the actual structure when I played, at least. Now you can have 40 guys. It's just like everything is so wacky and so completely Looney Tunes that Like, I can't fault Blackwell for leaving. I can't fault all these coaches for jumping. I can't fault any of these guys because there's a lot of money to be made, and why not make it while you can?
Yeah, no doubt. He is Matt Bernstein, former Badgers fullback. Believe in Badgers podcast. Follow, subscribe, love him, like him. Him and Matt Perkins do a bang-up job. Must listen to every time they talk. Matt Bernstein is just so entertaining, I tell you that. And passionate. The passion is what brings it all together. Matt, thank you so much for coming on, my friend. Appreciate it.
Anytime you need me, guys. I love it. On Wisconsin, man. Go Brewers, although I'm a Mets fan, which that's okay.
Okay, you got to go. Time's
Listen,
up. We got to go.
All right, sorry.
I'll take a quick time out. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Rally House, Mayfair Collection. Come get your City Connect jerseys, baby. They're hot and fresh, and a chance to register to win a $100 gift card to Rally House going on right now till 5 o'clock. Come take advantage. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Live from the Rally House Mayfair Collection. If you aren't here, you are missing out. Brand new gear from the Milwaukee Brewers today. It's the City Connect jerseys dropped today. There's probably 10 to 12 different concepts that they have out here with all the new City Connect stuff. Sweatshirts, T-shirts, like jerseys, hats, all kinds of different stuff. They got like the T-shirts with a bobber on them. They got Barrel Man hats with the new Barrel Man concept with like the multicolored state logo behind it. On hats as well. They've got a jacket out here that we were talking about earlier. We've shown a lot of this stuff on social media, on X and on YouTube as we stream live throughout the day at WI Sports Radio. Rick Schlesinger, president of business operations, will join us from the Brewers coming up in the next hour as well at 4:25. Habish and Reuter, baby. Tomorrow at 4:20, plead the fifth Friday. Your chance to tell somebody to hush it on up. And again, when you think of Habish and Reuter, national reputation, hometown service. They've been around since 1930, almost 100 years. They've built a national reputation while staying rooted into the Wisconsin communities. The firm's work has helped influence laws and improve product safety standards as well. These are the people you go to. These are the people that you can trust. That's why they have 13 locations across the state, because over 100 years, they've built the trust of every client that they've brought in. Word spreads like wildfire. Habish and Habish has been a name I've known since I was a kid. Talked about all the time in my house. And when you get into a car accident and you're hurt, it's a scary time. Check them out today. Habish and Reuter, national reputation, hometown service. Go to habish.com for more information. Chad Ryder of NFL.com, NFL draft analyst, joins us coming up next. He's got a big mock draft out right now at NFL.com. As it's a green and gold update time. Straight ahead, Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook at Rally House Mayfair Collection.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is that time again, broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at Rally House in Wauwatosa. Mayfair Collection coming out, hang out with us. The new City Connect gear from the Milwaukee Brewers is out, hot and fresh. All kinds of different designs on shirts and sweatshirts. You got the Bobber sweatshirts and T-shirts you can get. Got some Barrel Man, the new Barrel Man design T-shirts with a multicolor state background. All kinds of cool stuff. The Wisco T-shirts you can get as well with the new Wisco design. All out here again at Rally House. Your chance to register to win a $100 Rally House gift card when you're here. Why not do it? Why not? See if you can win a $100 Rally House gift card, and then you come back another day and spend some of that, whether it be on the Brewers gear, whether it be on Packers or other stuff. They also got a sale going on and some of the other stuff outside that City Connect stuff, up to 50% off here in the store going on today that you can take advantage of too at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Again, new City Connect stuff from the Brewers. It literally dropped today. It is here. We are selling it at Rally House. Take advantage of it. Joining us now is my guy, Chad Reuter, NFL.com, draft analyst on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Mr. Chad Reuter, how are we today?
Oh, we're fantastic, man. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Almost draft time.
Almost draft time. Chad, you have a 5-round mock draft up currently at NFL.com. How long does it take one to do a 5-round mock draft?
It's a cumulative process. You know, I had a 3-round and a 4-round before that, and you continue to build on it. By the time the 7-round gets done, I'll probably have spent 400 hours total.
400 hours just on prospects in the NFL draft. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, so let me ask you this. How much did your board or your mocks change between prior to the NFL draft combine and then how much did it change again after the pro workout days?
Well, I think guys can move within their tier of value, meaning maybe you had them as a possible starter in the mid-second to mid-third round, and some guys that I may have thought can go, mid-third, may push themselves up in the mid-second, that kind of stuff. So there's probably a handful of guys in each tier, that help themselves or hurt themselves in that sense. And the other thing, though, is that a little bit more information from what teams are looking for come out, or medical reports and things like that. And then you have, there's always a handful of guys that Malachi Fields, for example, from Notre Dame, he just didn't run. He didn't run well. You thought maybe he could do a little better than he did. And during combine drills, he just wasn't fluid and sudden. So a guy like that, had a bigger drop than a lot of guys typically do. So most of the times it's tweaking, but there is some movement, unfortunately, on some guys.
How much stock do you put into paying attention to top 30 prospect visits to different teams?
I put some, because you'll always see that teams will end up picking guys that were on their list. But unfortunately, players go to 7, 8 more, or maybe more teams. So there's some competition involved and who could actually get that guy when they brought him in. But I mean, yeah, it means something for sure. And teams may say it doesn't, but I think you have a limited number of those opportunities, and you take advantage of them for guys that you really want to be prepared for. Even sometimes guys that you really don't think you're going to get necessarily, but trades happen, things happen, and you put yourself in a position where you might have more interest, and you take advantage of it.
Feels like the Packers have been intrigued by some wide receivers through that process. Are there a couple of wide receivers that could essentially be hanging around down around that Packers pick at 52 in the second?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting class. It's a pretty deep class, and you don't know if teams are going to hold on and see if they can get somebody a little bit later and maybe get that edge rusher a little bit earlier than you thought. A guy like Deshaun Stribling from Ole Miss is a big body downfield guy, but he's pretty good after the catch too. He's come on kind of late in the year and late in the process. He's pretty solid mid-second round pick. So that's one name. And I think the Packers are pretty good with Jaden Reed, but Zachariah Branch is no joke out of Georgia.
Yep.
And if you want that quick guy, they do have a returner now, but I think that would be a guy that you could look at. And Jeremy Bernard from Alabama is probably the most likely guy if they go that direction. And he'll be a really good value in the middle of the second round. He just was pretty underutilized at Alabama and kind of kicked around to Washington and kicked around a little Michigan State. So he'll be a pretty solid mid-second round pick for somebody, and that guy's got to be on the Brewers. Oh, I should mention Skylar Bell too, former Wisconsin Badger. He could go as high as mid-second. I'll probably end up putting him high third, but he's been electric this year and really good through the whole postseason process.
What about offensive line? I mean, this Packers football team right now looks like they're committed to Aaron Banks on this deal that they revised for at least another couple of years. So he's your left guard. We'll see what happens at left tackle with Jordan Morgan, obviously. But then you got Escalade at right guard with Zach Tom at right tackle as it stands now. Is it crazy to think that they're at 52, they take a guard like Dunker from Iowa?
No, it's not crazy. And to be honest, I think Dunker could probably play right tackle too, or at least gives you the flexibility. He's got decent length. And so I would say if you want a guy like that can give you a few positions, and they tend to like those guys. So I would say he would certainly be in the mix. Keelan Rutledge is a really interesting player from Georgia Tech who's just a mauler, but he showed better athleticism, I think, than people thought at the combine. So he's on his way up. And if he took some center snaps at Senior Bowl as well. So again, another guy that can give you a little versatility. If you might have to use the second round pick on him, but he's a guy that a lot of people are talking about.
Talking with Chad Reuter, draft analyst, NFL.com, here on Wisconsin Sports Daily at Rally House Mayfair Collection. New Brewers City Connect stuff out today. They released it today, and we here at the Rally House have it right here for you. All kinds of different sweatshirts and T-shirts and designs, all kinds of brand new hats as well. Brewers will debut with their new jerseys coming up tomorrow night at American Family Field. We get to the third round. What about a guy like Bryce Lance? I mean, position coaches, the wide receiver coach in Green Bay, Christian Watson went there as well, North Dakota State. What do we think of Bryce Lance and how he might fit in Green Bay?
Yeah, I think he is a very much still, a work in progress as a receiver, but, at FCS level is very successful. He certainly has the speed that you want, and that was the number one kind of question about whether he was going to be a day 2 pick, and he proved he has the speed. A 6'3" receiver with speed should land in day 2, and I think he's got chance to be. I mean, he's going to be compared to guys like Valdez-Scantling and things like that, and that type of receiver. But I think his hands are a little more consistent, and if they decide they want another downfield threat with Watson, never quite sure if he's going to be healthy or not. Certainly in the middle of third round would be where the value is.
The other part about this, too, I think, Chad, when we start talking about the Green Bay Packers, they tend to fall in love, at least recently, with these guys that were Senior Bowl guys. And you look at their draft classes the last couple of years, a lot of those players that they drafted participated in the Senior Bowl. Is that by design, do you think, where they just want the older player that's closer to figuring it out and being ready to go? Is there more access there where they have a better idea of what they're working with more so there than other places? Why do you think there seems to be such a connection between the Packers and the Senior Bowl?
I think a lot of teams can say that just because the Senior Bowl has done a pretty good job of just having the best players. And they're inviting, some underclassmen too. And they didn't have as many underclassmen this year, though, at Senior Bowl. So I'll be very interested to see if that continues or if the underclassmen kind of take a resurgence this year in terms of how many spots they take up in the top 100. But certainly it's a great opportunity in Mobile for teams to talk to these guys and see them play against the other best prospects, especially in cases where guys come from lower divisions where the competition isn't as strong. So I think it's sort of a coincidence that they happen to be Senior Bowl guys that just, they're the best players, so they end up, getting picked. But I think there's going to be some interesting prospects in terms of age this year. How old is too old and that kind of thing. But I think the way that careers are lengthened and things like that, I think you can handle taking a 25-year-old rookie, especially since, GMs and coaches can't worry about whether they're going to be still get that second contract since they're going to be holding on to their jobs for, 3-4 years before that happens.
I am a big proponent of big, wide-bodied dudes to play defensive tackle for the Green Bay Packers. Javon Hargrave, they got in the offseason. They got Devontae Wyatt. I still want somebody bigger. I think I found my guy, Chad Reuter, and you got him going to the Packers. Xavier Harris, 6'8", 330 pounds. He's a senior. That is one gigantic dude. Now, there's a thing called prospect grades on the NFL.com website. He has a 6'2", will eventually be average starter. I don't need him to rush the quarterback. I just need him to grab people going by. Tell me about my new favorite player, Xavier Harris at 6'8".
So there were considerations after his junior year of him being a first or second round prospect, and the tape wasn't as good this year. But the fact of the matter is, there's just not that many humans that size that can move. And so in terms of a guy that is going to hold the line of scrimmage and give you a little bit of interior pressure, and certainly with that length, he can get his hands into passing lanes, things like that. So he may not get 5 or 6 sacks a year, but he's going to affect some throws in addition to holding the line of scrimmage. So on day 3, guys like him, Tim Keenan from Alabama is another nose tackle they could look at. Gary Smith from UCLA, another nose tackle, really to, fill the middle of that defense if they start using more 3- and 5-man, fronts in their new defense.
The 5th round of this draft, now you're really getting into the thing of where most people are like, I don't know who half of these players are, so we're just going to take Chad Reuter's expert opinion on this and see what might actually be out there. I have a question about the running back position for the Packers. You have them taking an offensive tackle from Memphis here, Travis Burke at 160, but that running back position, you heard Brian Gutekunst say that they want to increase the competition in that running back room going into this thing. Do you see them drafting a running back? And if so, what type of running back do you think best fits what they're trying to do?
Well, I think if they're bringing in Mike Washington from Arkansas, kind of a size speed back, they're considering it. And I think at some point you saw the downside of that, though, at that position when you take a Marshawn Lloyd, when you have other needs, and he's been banged up and hasn't been able to make it. And I think they need to be careful about that. But I think there's plenty of guys on day 3 that are going to come out and provide competition. You don't need to use a 3rd round pick on that. I think Robert Henry from Texas San Antonio is a name a lot of people don't know, but he's really good back. Kalon Black from national champion Indiana Hoosiers. There's tons of guys. Got the Penn State backs. Nicholas Singleton, for example, is probably going to be a 4th or 5th round pick just because his film wasn't as good this year, a little bit banged up. And it's like a guy like that, if you can find deals like that on day 3, certainly you can take advantage of it and not, hurt. It still kind of meet the rest of your needs on your roster earlier.
Chad, give me a name that everybody is high on in the 1st round that maybe you're not as high on in the 1st round.
That's a good question, Sparky. I think the guy who's kind of hurt himself through this process is Mekhi Lemon out of USC. Really competitive receiver. Doesn't have great size, doesn't have great athleticism. and not a lot of great words on a lot of information on interviews he's had with teams. And I think he's kind of hurt himself through the process. So I think he's going to go a lot later than a lot of people are speculating right now. That said, do I think he could be a really good slot receiver? Yeah, I do. But I don't know that I'm going to use a top 15 pick on him. Much rather go with Amar Cooper from Indiana or somebody like that if you want a inside threat, a guy who's very reliable.
Here's Chad Reuter. Again, follow him on X at Chad_Reuter, NFL draft analyst for NFL.com. Check out his latest 5-round mock draft up right now at NFL.com. Are you in the thick of it now here for the next couple of weeks leading up to the 23rd?
That's right. I have a 7-round mock draft coming out Thursday. Today's Thursday. So
Today's
2 weeks
Thursday.
from today. Yeah, or wait, no, a week from today. It comes out a week from today. We put it out the week
before. You're working too hard. You don't even know what day it is, Chad. You're working too hard.
Yeah, you're lucky. I sort of know what year it is. And so yeah, a week from today, 7-round mock draft comes out. So I will be burning the midnight oil on that for the next week.
I can't wait to read it. Chad, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sparky. Have a good one.
There he is, Chad Reuter on the guest hotline. Powered by Gruber Law. One call. That is all. And the draft, I'm sure they will have that on as well at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. 2 levels of seating. You've got 48 beers on tap, dozen different specialty cocktails. Potawatomi Sportsbook Kitchen, full menu, all-day brunch, homemade desserts and pastries every single day that you could take advantage of. Gambling kiosk right there when you get off of the Skywalk from the parking garage that you can gamble on right there across from Rock and Brews as you come in. Plus, you have the gambling kiosks all lined up there in the annex, a big room right next to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Whether it be college basketball, whether it be pro basketball, whether it be college football, pro football, baseball, UFC fight. I heard from my buddy Will over here doing promotions. There's a big UFC fight coming up this weekend. They always have big UFC fight nights where they turn the sound way up at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You can reserve your seats ahead of time right now by going to Potawatomi.com. Small fee that goes towards it, but that goes towards your food and beverage costs for that day anyhow. And don't forget the shuttles to and from Brewers home games leaving right there at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Coming up next, President of Business Operations for your Milwaukee Brewers, Rick Schlesinger, will join us straight ahead here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook out here at Rally House at the Mayfair Collection. Come get your City Connect gear now. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily. Steve Sparky Fiber with you. Live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Out here at Rally House, Mayfair Collection, the brand new City Connect jerseys have dropped. Rally House has them. They're hot and fresh right here at Rally House. Your chance to register to win a $100 Rally House gift card out here at Mayfair Collection as long as we're here up until 5 o'clock. So you got about 35 minutes left to do that. Obviously, plenty of time for you to come on out here. Plus, they have up to a 50% sale going off on a bunch of other stuff inside of Rally House today. So come on out here, check it out. They probably have 10 to 12 different things with the different City Connect logos on it, whether it be sweatshirts, T-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff out here at Rally House. Speaking of those City Connect jerseys and your Milwaukee Brewers, joining us now on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. He is the president of business operations for your Milwaukee Brewers, Rick Schlesinger. Good afternoon, Rick.
Good afternoon, Sparky.
You know, Rick, I want to dive into the thought process of the City Connect jersey because I will say I am kind of a little taken back a little bit by some of the angst towards this whole concept that I've seen on social media. I said earlier, and I said I don't know if this was the case, it feels like to me kind of like a thank you to, you know, the rest of the state of Wisconsin for supporting the Milwaukee Brewers and kind of a nod to them for, you know, being a big part of this and not just being, you know, a Milwaukee or southeastern Wisconsin thing.
Yeah, I mean, we are a regional team, and, you know, more than half of our fans come from outside the southeastern Wisconsin region. So we do care and think about our fans in the outer counties. And, you know, there's 72 counties, and fans from every one of those counties come to the games. And so we're having fun with the uniform, and it's sort of, you know, it's a homage to the things that are great about the state, you know, the lakes, the shore, the fun, the wheat, you know, it harkens back to the American Association Milwaukee Brewers with some of the barrel man and sort of the script on the front, and the motto inside the neck says Ford, which is obviously the Wisconsin state motto. So yeah, it's really, you know, the first version of the City Connect was more with Milwaukee, and this one is, you know, sort of idolizing the state, as you will, and so I think, you know, it's different. And people have their opinions, but, you know, so far people have been excited, and the stuff is flying off the shelves here at the ballpark. So, you know, obviously we're going to have fun with it and wear it on Fridays, and I think people will like it.
Okay, so how did we get to the term Wisco? So I brought up earlier, I have a thought, very well may be wrong, that maybe there was some canvassing done around the rest of the state of what word you were going to decide to use on the front of it. I was like, but on the other hand, they could be sitting in a conference room. Somebody may have thrown it out. Y'all may have said, yep, sounds good. Let's do that. I'm not quite sure how you came up with it. So how did that come to be?
Yeah, so the Wisco actually has been used, and it's been used in different contexts around the state. And we just liked it because it's, you know, it evokes the state, but it's kind of a whimsical shorthand. And if it ends up getting, you know, some legs and some status, great. But it's just a way to shorten the state name and add a little flair to it. So I don't think people should read too much into it. It's just a different way of saying the state, and it's a shortcut. And, you know, there's acronyms for everything, and people shorthand everything. So Wisco sort of makes sense for Wisconsin.
Oh, Rick, people read into everything. You should know that by now. Rick Schlesinger, president of business operations for the Brewers, joins us here at Wisconsin Sports Daily. See Sparky Fiver with you. All right, let's talk about the Barrel Man logo design that's on these jerseys as well, kind of with a colorful state design behind the Barrel Man.
Yeah, so the Barrel Man is really taken from the American Association Milwaukee Brewers when they were a AAA farm team back in the 40s before the Braves came here. So we sort of took the imagery from that old Barrel Man and added the little colors. The colors represent, you know, there's mango in there, there's blue, it represents sort of rainbows, sunsets, you know, Wisconsin lakes, all that kind of theme. And we added it to the sort of the 1940s version of Barrel Man, and created this sort of, you know, a new version of an old favorite. And, you know, it doesn't mean the regular Barrel Man's going away, but on Fridays we'll have a different version of the Barrel Man out here to entertain fans.
So you got a whole new mascot jersey for this?
Absolutely.
Oh boy, you ain't messing around. Hey, can I be the bobber at American Family Field? You put me in a bobber. I'll wear a bobber costume and walk around American Family Field for you, Rick.
That would be something. I think that would draw attention for sure. So yeah, again, we're trying to evoke. Wisconsin is have great lakes. People enjoy the summers on the lake and their cottages around the state, and fishing is a big deal in the state. And we picked mango as one of the colors because a mango lure is apparently a very popular lure that people use in Wisconsin, and again, evokes imagery of sunsets. And yeah, the bobber is, if you live in Wisconsin, you usually fish and use bobbers.
Yep, that is very true. Rick, let's talk about the other part of this that I myself am more excited about than the jerseys themselves. Can we talk about these supper club deals that you guys are bringing to American Family Field? Because that really has my attention.
Yeah, so obviously, what's more Wisconsin than supper clubs? We've all gone to supper clubs and probably overate, but had a good time doing it. So when we have every Friday, this weekend it'll be every game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when we wear the City Connects on every Friday home game, we're gonna have a special concession stand called the Supper Club Stand. We've got great things. We've got walleye fish fry, potato pancakes, prime rib, grilled cheese, meatloaf, ice cream drinks. We've got a bobber cocktail with brandy and Door County cherry flavor. So it's really, if you have good memories of eating at a supper club, you'll definitely want to partake in the supper club stand, which is on the first base side on field level.
And the bobber cocktail, that's for all home games this year. That's not just for the supper club nights, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's served in a special souvenir bobber cup. So we complete the imagery with the name as well as the cup that looks like a bobber.
Earlier in the show, Rick Schlesinger, Charlie, using my producer, and I were having this conversation because he's like, oh, does it come in a bobber cup? I said, actually, it does come in a bobber cup. So then I said, but if it's $75 like the Shohei Ohtani souvenir cup in LA, do you want it? He said, absolutely not for $75. What is the price point on said bobber cup with drink in it?
Yeah, that's actually, it's a lot less than 35. I will have to get to that. I don't off the top of my head remember the price point, but it's affordable.
But it's definitely not $75. So
there
you go, Charlie.
No,
there you
go.
Can you believe? Can you believe people pay $75 and the Dodgers go, but you get a free refill at the game if you spend the $75 for the cup?
People pay $7 for a gallon of gas in Los Angeles.
That's true. That's fair point. I have no counter argument to that whatsoever. Rick, how have things been going? I know I saw somewhere where you said group sales, obviously from around the state of Wisconsin, is a big part of what you guys do. How have sales been going? How have group sales been going for ticket-wise this year?
Yeah, ticket sales are going very well. We're double digits ahead of where we were last year, and last year was a very nice year for ticket sales, obviously winning 97 games and having multiple winning streaks, and the Mizrowski and all that was certainly propelling fans to come to the ballpark. So very excited where we are now. We've still got tickets left for this weekend. We've got the Miz bobblehead on Saturday, tickets still remaining. We've got Sunday is a Brewers wiffle ball set for the first 5,000 kids under 14. And we also have coming up later next week, Saturday, April 25, windbreaker to the first 25,000 fans. So fun team. We're a little banged up, but they're getting healthy and playing some good baseball despite the injuries and some good promotions coming up.
Where did the trading card bobblehead ideal come from that you guys are rolling out there this year?
Yeah, we've seen it done in a few other ballparks, and it's just a nice way to freshen up the bobblehead. We love the bobbleheads, but candidly, after a while, when you do so many of them, they get a little old, a little stale. So this was a way to sort of freshen it up with the baseball card and then the actual bobblehead. And again, we're just trying to come up with cool ideas to liven up the promotional items. People love bobbleheads, but I always feel like you want to always offer something new and different and not just rely on the same old things that you do for the last 15 years. Try to freshen it up.
Rick, long before you were here, when I was a child growing up, they used to have Pick and Save bat day at Brewers games at County Stadium, and they were full-size wood bats with Pick and Save and the Brewers engraved on them or whatever. And I think I played with that thing damn near my whole childhood. But they were full-size bats. Do you ever see a day in which you could get back to something like that again?
Yeah, I actually remember Bat Day. I was a kid. I remember Bat Day. we would certainly not want to do a bat day giveaway with, when people come in. We don't want people, we don't want 40,000 people with bats. It's probably not just, it's just, we don't need that. But I would never say never. The cost of a bat for a full stadium is pretty expensive, and so you have to look at the economics of it. But we've actually toyed around with bringing back some of the old promotions from the past that maybe the teenagers weren't around for, but old folks like you and me remember some of those fun giveaways. So I would never say never. It's not something for 2026 for sure, but we always have a committee here that sort of evaluates potential giveaways, and I know we've been talking about bringing things back from the past, and that may be one in the future.
I'm getting blown up here. People asking if you're bringing back a promotion, they want quarter beer night brought back.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Rick Schlesinger, President of Business Operations for the Milwaukee Brewers, joining us on the guest hotline. Again, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Rick, thank you so much for coming on. And again, go get your City Connect stuff today. The Brewers have it. Rally House locations have it as well. Rick, thank you so much.
Thanks, Sparky.
You bet you take care. There he is, Rick Schlesinger, joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Charlie, quarter beer night or full-size wood bat day, which would you rather see? The bats you would get upon exiting, like on a Sunday afternoon game, probably, right? And then you would have quarter beer nights. That would probably be on like a Friday or a Saturday.
The beers
and
are
preferably not against the Cubs.
The beers are so expensive sometimes that I feel like just off of like principle, you want the quarter beer night. At the same time, getting a full-size bat would be awesome. Like I've never.
Are you old enough to ever have been to a quarter beer anything?
No, not that I'm 24, so like I just
okay, so I was in my 20s, I guess it would be, and my buddy used to work in lacrosse for the Bobcats back in the day. So I would go see him from time to time. And there was a bar there, I believe it's still there, called the Library.
Still
and
there.
They used to have quarter beer nights. And you would see dudes and girls with trays full of beer just getting plowed and going back, getting another tray full of beer and going back. Quarter beer nights. That was a thing back in the day.
No, I've been to places where you get like $3 beer and shot, and that's like the deal, but never quarter beer. No.
Never mixed beer with alcohol like that.
Why not?
I don't feel like
usually
that's a great
it's fine.
Usually,
half the time is usually
half the time. Yeah. Okay, coming up next, things that Sparky missed, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Charlie Larson of the Milwaukee Admirals, straight ahead. Wisconsin Sports Daily, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Thanks for listening in Green Bay and Appleton on WNFL, to the game in Wausau, or about the game in Duluth and Superior, listening around the beautiful state of Wisconsin. Back after this. Welcome back. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer out here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Still time for you to come on out here. Got about 17 minutes to come out here, take advantage of scanning this QR code out here on our table to have a chance to win a $100 Rally House gift card here in Wauwatosa. Take advantage of that. And while you're here, check out all this new City Connect merchandise from the Brewers today with the Wisco word right across the front of the jersey. They got some Jackson Churio jerseys out here with the Wisco logo across the front of it, those jerseys. They got shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of different things. Like that grill that they have for like shirts and hats. They're doing the same thing with the bobber. I haven't seen a bobber hat, but they have the bobber shirts and sweatshirts out here as well. The new Barrelman logo that they're doing for this, they have those new Barrelman hats out here too at Rally House Mayfair Collection. So take advantage. Come on out here before all is said and done. And again, they'll have these all year. They debut the new Wisco jerseys tomorrow night at American Family Field, including Supper Club nights with a new Supper Club concession stand when they wear these jerseys. This weekend, they're going to do it for all 3 home games. So look for that concession stand. I personally, Charlie, I'm a big meatloaf guy.
Yeah.
I'd like to try the meatloaf. But that, what is it, that prime rib
brisket.
grilled cheese or whatever? Man, that sounds good too.
I think I got to try both.
I mean, I could, but it would be 2 different days because I can't do all that in one day. Joining us now is Charlie Larson of the Milwaukee Admirals. So we do Think Sparky Miss, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Check out all their great stuff going on at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. Good afternoon, Charlie. How are you?
Sparky, I am great. How about yourself? Prime rib, that's my supper club dinner. Not that you asked, but I'm telling you, as red as possible, too.
So you want it alive?
I mean, not quite.
Even killing your food, or what are we talking about?
I mean, maybe, if I got to go out there and give an assist, but
No, I'm out. No. So you're saying rare, not medium rare. You're going rare.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not cold, but like redder than pink on the prime rib.
Do you eat like that steak tartare stuff? Do you like that?
No. Well, I don't dislike it. I'll be honest. It's not something
Oh, man, we were out at dinner a couple of weeks ago, me and some of the bosses at work, and I said, you don't even think about even putting that anywhere near me. You just keep it over there. You all eat that all you want. I am out. Bring me a Wendy's burger instead. Okay, let's talk about the Milwaukee Admirals. Got a press release today that you guys have set your home opener for next season already.
Yep, exactly. We have got 6 games on the schedule for next year, including October 10th, which is our home opener. That's a week earlier than we normally have played. The whole AHL season is getting pushed back a week because the NHL is going to 84 games, and so they're expanding their season, and we got to basically be in step with the NHL because if our players, they got to go somewhere. So we mirror the NHL season, so that's why we're starting a little bit earlier than previous years.
You a fan of that or not a fan of that?
I don't know. It's a good at the end of the day, expanded. Our season is already the longest of all the professional sports seasons, the 4 major seasons, pro sports. So expanding it by a week is okay. I would rather start earlier though than have it drag into June as it does kind of right now.
So you want it in the cold weather months. You don't want it to be 65 outside and we're trying to play hockey. That's what I never understood. Like, we're gonna have hockey in Arizona. Like, I don't want to go freeze if I'm in Arizona. I want to enjoy the warm weather. That's why, to me, this feels more like a Minnesota, Wisconsin thing. But if it's like 90 degrees outside, I don't want to be inside.
Yeah, there certainly is that. Now, 65, I'll take that all day. 65, walking into the rink, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. 90 degrees, that's probably a little bit warm, but some of the, if you look at Florida, the NHL has been dominated over the last decade by the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. And so kudos to them for, in mid-June down in Florida, God knows it's 90 degrees with 90% humidity. I'm not sure how they keep the ice. But they do. And so, kudos to those 2 franchises for, winning cures all from an attendance perspective. It doesn't matter how good your marketing is or whatever. If you win, you're going to have better attendance, and they've done a good job of winning, which is the ultimate marketer.
Talking with Charlie Larson of the Milwaukee Admirals. Promotions have a big deal in attendance as well. You guys play again coming up on Saturday night. Puck drop there. But before the puck drops, a couple of hockey games prior to the actual Admirals game itself.
Yeah, Battle of the Badges is something special we've been doing here for probably 15 years or maybe even a little bit longer. It predates us moving here back to Panther Arena. We used to do it at the Bradley Center. So the police and firefighters, they take their hockey very, very seriously. If you look up highlights of the NYPD police fire game, oh yeah, first of all, they sell out Madison Square Garden, right? And yeah, they sell at Madison Square Garden. It's for charity, but the guys get on the ice and they forget that it's for charity, and they're throwing hands all the time. So,
well, that's why it sells out.
Probably people want to come see it. They want to see the and see people talking to each other in a New York accent. That was terrible. I hope no one had to hear that. Every once in a while, there's a scrap at one of the police fire games here. We've never had anything like. Happened in New York City, and we don't want that. If we're being honest, we don't need that. We don't need that.
No, you don't need that. Okay, so you have Battle of the Badges going on. So there's like a special ticket that goes along with that, right? You can get into those hockey games and still see the Admirals at night, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. All three games. Come to all three games, and there's a lot of people that do. This sells a lot of tickets. That it's not just the players that are into it; it's the families that are really into it as well. And so you could buy one ticket, $20, $25, $30, and then you're seeing three hockey games, and a portion of those proceeds goes back to help the firefighters and the police.
Yeah, that's awesome. So make sure to take advantage of that coming up on Saturday. Plus, it's Sendik's Dog Day 2.
Yeah, Dog Day. It's our second one of the year. I love dog days. I don't have a dog because I'm not responsible enough to have one, but I like other people's dogs. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a pool. You want your neighbor to have a pool so you can go swim, and I want my neighbor to have a dog so I can go pet it and not have to clean up after it. But they come all into the arena, and it's funny to me. The national anthem happens. It's all silent, except the dogs don't know they're supposed to be silent, so they're just barking away during the national anthem. And I always get a kick out of that. But it's adorable. And if you're allergic to dogs or whatnot, or you're afraid of dogs, don't worry. We keep them all. They're all up in the 400 level. They don't come down to the 200 level. So we keep them, away so people can enjoy the game if they're not dog people.
Yes, and I can get down with that as well. I have a dog, but I'm not a big fan of being around other dogs, if we're being honest. Like, we have one, that's fine. But like, I go to somebody else's house or I'm out and about, just keep your dog away from me. Y'all can be dog lovers. I'm not interested. Like, dog come running up to me. Okay, I look at it and I just keep on moving. I'm not.
Yeah. I'm kind of on board with you there. Like, if you bring up your dog to me and tell me to pet your dog, like, I don't know, why? Why should I? Right? Like, I like dogs. They're nice, but hey, come on.
Yeah, I got nothing against them. I'm just saying it's not my deal necessarily at the end of the day. Also, other promotions coming up Sunday, a 3:00 puck drop, which is great for families that have kids. It's middle of the afternoon. It's Roscoe's birthday and a post-game skate opportunity as well on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday's a fun game because it is Roscoe's birthday. So all the mascots come down and they do their wacky hijinks and everything like that. So that's a lot of fun. So it's, it's Bernie Brewer and Bango and
nice.
So there's a lot of fun with the mascots coming in and we have cake too.
Roscoe?
Well, Roscoe, if you look at his number, he's born in 98. So you do the math. He's 28. Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm pretty sure I know Roscoe. It's the same person as it was before. He ain't 28. But either way, that doesn't matter. We will get into how old he really is. Charlie, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Again, go to MilwaukeeAdmirals.com for more information. All the promotions coming up. Again, Saturday night puck drop at 6. Sunday afternoon puck drop at 3 in the afternoon. Battle of the Badges is Saturday. Go support a great cause with the police and the firefighters here in Milwaukee. Charlie, thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Sparky, the pleasure's been all mine. You too. Hopefully maybe see a Sunday night. You got a young family, or Sunday afternoon. You got a young family.
I do have a young family. However, we have state bowling tournament on Saturday and Sunday this weekend.
Is that the high school state bowling?
No, he's 10 years old. No. In fact, he's just got done practicing right now this afternoon.
So this is your son who's competing. You're not just going to watch; he's competing. That's amazing.
No, yeah. He already has like $1,500 in scholarship money at 10. Ain't
What?
that crazy?
That's crazy.
You get so much money individual bowling. People don't know. Charlie, thank you so much. There goes Charlie Larson of the Milwaukee Admirals. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily today. Out here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Come get your City Connects gear out here. Sweatshirts, T-shirts, jerseys, hats. They got it all. And these people that work here, they're amazing. They love you. They love you, and they love to see you. Come out here at Rally House Mayfair Collection. Have a good night, Wisconsin. Toodles.